Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just enjoying the Sunday. How are you?
Nice quarantine hair.
Yeah, I need a haircut, man. I do need a haircut.
I like it, man. I like it. So anyway, we've been meaning to get you on here, but for one reason or the other, we haven't been able to. But I'm glad we're getting to do this.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. It's fun.
So let's talk a little bit about your experience. You did the 6 week challenge at Fit Method 413, right? Um, and so for me, so we blasted your before and afters all over our social media because, number one, it was really impressive, but two, it was interesting because as opposed to the vast majority of the people that come through our challenge, which are just, general population, people that maybe work out a little bit, or maybe they're just starting to work out. With you is the opposite. You're a workout guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I work out at least 2 times a day, sometimes
right.
three.
Wow. Okay. So when you came through, I was like, I saw you were muscular, and I was like, okay, this is a little different than the people that usually come to us, and I was excited to see your results. And so you started the 6 week challenge. What would you say was the biggest takeaway from the challenge?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, it's got to be the accountability. I mean, we all know what's good for you, what's healthy for you, and we can all stick to it. But then life happens and stuff like that. But the way you guys are organized, the way you handle every client, accountability is honestly everything. Consistency and accountability at the end of the day. I mean, people do stuff. Where'd you go? Sorry, I got a phone call.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the accountability, what you guys do is probably the biggest factor that I think it just holds you to what you need to do, and it holds you accountable.
100%. I often say that when people ask me, what do you do? And I say, I babysit adults. But
I mean, but we need it, I mean, even with
yeah.
me, I work out a lot, and I know I have my meals and I know what to do, but at the end of the day, life happens sometimes, and we fall off the wagon. That's just part of being human. So
100%. I agree. So I have people that keep me accountable in different areas of my life. And so I understand the power behind accountability. But on top of that, another thing that was interesting was I remember you being in the nutrition orientation on day one. And, you looked like a muscular guy, but it looked like you were carrying some extra body fat. I wasn't necessarily seeing the definition. And I asked you, I said, you probably don't do much cardio, and you blew me away because you said, actually, I do cardio every day.
yeah.
And when you said that, I was like, okay, then if you're doing cardio every day, you're doing the wrong kind of cardio. You remember that?
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny because your face was kind of like, no, I actually do cardio every day. And I was like, but you're not lean enough. Like, you don't look like a guy that does cardio every day. So what would you say was different from the kind of cardio you were doing and then the kind of cardio that we suggested?
So I mean, I was doing, like we had talked, like especially early in the morning, how you said, fast-paced cardio, fast-paced walking. So I started doing that at like 4:30 in the morning.
With us?
On an empty stomach. What?
You mean with us? Once you started with us?
Yeah. Once I started with you guys, I didn't know that at all until you mentioned the fast-paced.
But prior to that, what were you doing?
Oh, I mean, I was doing like a little bit of bike. I would do kind of like HIIT workouts, like jump rope, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups. I try to do like 3 or 4 or 5 circuits in a row and just bam, 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 like 30 seconds each one.
Okay.
But like with my body, my knee surgeries, my back, that kind of put a lot more like, just pain in my body.
Sure. So when I said to you, when I introduced you to the concept of slow burn cardio, were you like, what?
Yeah, man. I had no idea. I mean, you think the harder you go, the faster you go.
Yep.
I would have never guessed that. And now I've been ever since you'd said that day one, I've been doing that every day at like 4:30 in the morning. I pray the rosary at the same time. And I walk outside, and I'll never go back from that.
Right. So it's interesting because slow burn cardio has to be one of the hardest concepts to get across to people, right? When I tell people, especially runners or people that do marathons and triathletes, I tell them that, hey, the fastest way to lean out is to walk. They look at me like I have four heads. And I think you looked at me that way.
Oh yeah, I did.
But it's interesting because, the science there is that when your heart rate is up there, your main source of energy is oxygen. But when you're actually walking, your main source of energy becomes glycogen, which is actually what you want to deplete the most, especially when you're in those first 6 weeks, which is your phase 1, right? And so, everyone looks at me with four heads, but whoever follows it, gets results like the results you got, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then on top of that, we put you through the Empty Your Bucket plan, which I think, you mentioned that you thought you needed all these carbs to survive, right? And then we eliminated your complex carbohydrates for the first 6 weeks. We still kept fibrous carbs, but we took out the complex carbs. What was your experience there? And I know you're having a hard time transitioning back into carbs. So talk to me a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. I mean, you think you need complex carbs, and I'm not, but so at first I was a little confused there, but, we also cut out fruits. I was eating 4 fruits a day, which is a lot of sugar, but so cut out those. But yeah, it really wasn't that big of a transition, to be honest with you. I'm a pretty energetic guy to begin with, but without the carbs, I honestly felt like more clear-headed.
Yeah.
My energy was maybe even more than what I had initially, which just, you think you get, energy from carbs, which you do, but, your body produces their own. So, I mean, I honestly, I loved it. I mean, it really wasn't a huge transition, and honestly, it was really nice. And I never would have thought to do that. So it's nice getting into a cycle like that did that.
Yeah. And then I know that right after or in between your 6-week challenge, you read, what is it called? Grain Head?
Grain Brain.
I'm
still reading it. I'm not, I read slowly, and I take a lot of notes in those books.
Yeah.
I don't want to just like blow through it, but yeah, so that you got to read that. That's a very interesting,
I know the concept, right? It's a concept that I've talked to many people about. I've gotten highly criticized inside of nutrition forums for eliminating starchy carbohydrates for the first 6 weeks and then slowly introducing them again, and then carb cycling. I get people give me a hard time about it because like, oh, I can't believe you're taking carbs away from people, but carbs convert to sugar. And when you ask me what America is addicted to, America is not addicted to carbs. America is addicted to sugar, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you noticed when you eliminated those carbs, how you actually started getting like maybe a sweet tooth in the beginning, right?
I mean, I'm a sweet tooth kind of guy, so yeah. I have it.
Right. But even if you weren't, right, like when you eliminate that and you're no longer bringing that surge of sugar in, you start to your subconscious mind starts to trick you like, oh, I want a cookie or I want some ice cream or things that maybe you didn't crave before because your body's a machine, right? So whatever it doesn't have, it wants to reproduce it some way somehow. So very cool, man. So I know you just recently did your way out, right?
Yeah.
And you have some questions for me, which I'm actually going to answer here. I know you texted me and I was like, I'm going to leave these for the interview because I know a lot of people have these questions. So you lost 20 pounds?
Yeah. When I weighed in with you, I was 208. When I weighed in with Liz, I was 188. So 20 pounds. Okay.
So you lost 20 pounds and then the calibrator said you lost 2% body fat.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So you lost 20 pounds and 2% body fat, and your pictures look radically different, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and it was interesting because you text me and you're like, man, body fat percentages are real deceiving, And, that's something that is funny because I really can't ever put my finger on it for everyone. It's so different. I mean, I've had people lose 10 pounds and lose 11% body fat.
Oh, dang.
Which is crazy, right? Which is pretty crazy. Yeah. But your pictures look radically different. Obviously, the calibrator gets pretty close, but it's not 100% accurate, okay? That calibrator, I've been using it for 18 years, and I've gotten used to the tweaks, and I know how to tweak it to get really, really close. Yet it's not 100% accurate. You have to do the test where you're actually submerged underwater. It costs like $1,000 to do something like that. It's crazy, right? Nothing that any normal person would want to do. There's some machines out there that get pretty close as well, but the calibrated does a good job. But the point is this, how tall are you?
About 5'11".
So 5'11", and you said you're 100 and what are you weighing right now?
88 right now.
88. 188. So you can still, at 5'11", you can still afford to get down to 175 and even get way more shredded, right? I know that seems crazy, but here's what's funny. At 175, you would look way bigger than when you were at 205 or whatever you were in the beginning, which is crazy, right? Muscles weigh a lot more than fat. And when you're well defined, when your shoulders start to come out and you start to broaden and stuff like that, it gives you an appearance of being bigger when your weight is actually lower than probably the weight, your initial weight.
Sure.
So it's very deceiving. But when I was competing and doing all my stuff back in the day in my 20s, I dropped to 165. At 190, I was huge, right? I was this massive. I couldn't button my shirts. It was a bad look. And then I was shred down to 165, and people were like, "Man, what are you, like 195, 190?" And I'm like, "No, 165," and everyone was like blown away, right? And it just had a lot to do with muscle quality based on nutrition, based on the cardio, based on the way I was working out. And these are a lot of the different things that we implement into the 6-week challenge. These have all come through personal experience, and then obviously working with clients for so many years. So I think now in phase 2, once that carb cycling starts happening and you do that efficiently, you continue to do your slow burn cardio, we can still manage to get you down to 170, 175. I don't know 170, but 175, 180. And I think that at 5'11", you would look pretty shredded, and you would feel stronger than you did at 200 pounds.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I haven't been down. I don't think I've been below 190 in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, and you're a broad dude. So, it's probably hard for you to think in your mind, like, oh, wow, what would I look like at 175? But I'm telling you right now, based on experience, you look even more incredible at 175. So that carb cycling in phase 2 is going to help a lot. Into phase 3, we teach more sustainability so that once you get to that 175, 180, you basically maintain there. You don't have to lose any more weight. Let's say maybe you have a bad weekend where, you have a birthday or you celebrate or you eat something that you usually don't eat, and you bring that in and you bump up to 180. That's your alarm that says, hey, it's time on Monday to get back on your diet,
Sure.
to get back on your cardio. And you can cycle through those phases. The question usually is, well, what happens after phase 3, right? And we have a lot of people that do phase 1, 2, and 3 and then go back through the whole thing again. Right. So we've had people do the 3 phases actually 3 times with us.
Oh, wow.
And these are some of the guys that I see walking around that I worked with, 10, 15 years ago that are still super fit. When you ask them, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm still doing empty your bucket, still doing slow burn, and I'm circuit training. Right. So that's the idea, man. It's sustainability. I think most plans can get you to drop weight. What most plans are missing is that sustainability part, right?
Sure. I agree.
So, yeah. So what would you say? What would you say to someone that's on the fence, someone that is watching this and going, I don't know. I mean, I go to Orange Theory. I go to camp. Pretty cool workouts. Why is Fit Method different? And I don't know that you've been to any of these places, but a lot of these gyms are just like, it's a big social gathering, right? You go there, you meet people. That's cool. Workouts are cool. They're fun, but yet no one's really hitting their goals, as opposed to us where we're goal oriented, right? We tell you, hey, that's cool. You're going to make some friends here. But on top of that, you're going to get a ton of results, and we're going to teach you how to sustain that. So what would you say to that person on the fence, that person that is watching this and saying, I don't know, I go to camp, I go to Orange Theory, or I go to this boot camp? What would you say to that person?
Well, I mean, it's even like doing this video, me and you going back and forth like this, based off the results that I got. You can't get there. You can't get that at Orange Theory or other classes. And like you said, it's more based on them going there and making an appearance and all this good stuff. But, if you're not getting results with you guys, you get results. And that comes with, the accountability coach. It comes with the nutrition plan. It comes with, checking in every week. It comes in, even with doing videos like this and then the everyday workouts, even been in quarantine. I mean, those places like Orange Theory, I guarantee, they're not doing what you guys are still continuing to do. So it's that sustainability and accountability that you guys give each and every client. It's not just as a whole. It's each one of us has an accountability coach, and, you can talk to that person anytime you want, ask them questions. I mean, you really can't get that anywhere else. And they might even be paying more money, even if they just get a meal plan, there's no communication back and forth. There's no accountability. So it's so easy just to kind of do your own thing. And, you're probably not going to make it because we all need that help. So
100%. There's this thing I always say. I say there's nothing more expensive than paying for something and not getting results.
That's exactly right.
Even if it's cheaper. So like you can go to a place where it's like, oh, well, I pay $60 a month for unlimited boot camp classes. And my question is always, how's that working for you? Right.
How's that working?
Because you could be paying 60 and then we might be a little more expensive, but at the end of the day, like I said, there's nothing more expensive than not getting the results that you want. It's frustrating, right? You're chasing your tail. And, the idea with us is basically getting your results, educating you. And then if you want to take off and do your own thing, great. Like we're okay with that. We just want to make sure that you're able to sustain that. You get that education and then you can go and impact other people. Cause I know that's the journey you're on, right? Like after this, you were really motivated to you're a home builder, you do custom homes. But you have this passion and this desire to help people and take people through your process. So I know this has been this process for you has been more than an aesthetic destination. This actually inspired you to go do something else. Can talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I build homes, and I have a huge, love for that and a passion for that. My dad was a builder, so that's how I got into the, the residential construction industry. But I think a big passion with everybody's, people, and, we're all here for the same reasons. And, it's good to see people actually progress and get better, like those Orange Theory places, there's all, you might pay so much money for a boot camp class, but that's really about it. There's no further information. There's no one-on-one videos like this. There's no tutorials. It's just like, hey, come do the workouts. They might not even get into the nutrition. And that's, like you had said, that's 90% of it. So yeah, doing this has made me, like I said, the way you guys interact with us has really opened up my eyes and really showed me like the real way that it's supposed to be done. And you guys truly care about like, not everybody as a whole, but each person, their goals, their lifestyle. And that, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's what it's all about. And that's what everybody needs. So yeah, I mean, when I went through the 6 week, I'm going to do phase 2. I mean, that to me is the biggest part of, everything is just being with people and pushing them and seeing the results. And like you said, the sustainability is staying up on it. So it's just an everyday cycle, and it's every day to get better and better and, to be a healthier person.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, very cool. This has been awesome, man. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being so diligent. And, we're looking forward to giving you some guidance when it comes to your nutrition education and actually starting that fitness journey as a coach. And so hopefully in a couple of months, we'll see you as a coach at Fit Method.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome, brother. 100%. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. Stay safe.
Yeah. Thanks, JC. You too, man.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
See you. Bye.